So here we go. Good morning, afternoon. It is 12:33. So for those of you who are tuning in and watching our recording, we've been having a wonderful conversation about issues that our group members have preferred not be public. And no, we weren't talking about you. Anyway, so but we're recording now, and so we'll go around if everyone would introduce themselves, where you work, if that's what you want to say. And then we have a very special topic that we do want to talk about today. And so we'll definitely get to that first and see where else we go in the next half hour. I'm Susan Walker, formerly from the University of Minnesota, and now sitting in my bed, actually, in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I will turn it over to the lovely and talented Greta Nelson.
Wasn't expecting that. Hello, I'm Greta Nelson, and I am a parent educator at Cambridge Sandy Schools. I also am the early childhood screening coordinator, work with preschool coaching and things like that. The things you know you need to do in parent ed to fill in the gaps, right? So those are some of the things I do to fill in gaps. And I'm going to call in Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Anderson. I'm the parent educator here in Jordan, and just thankful for these Friday calls. I just love to see everyone's faces and hear what you've been up to. So it's just something I value very much. And I'm going to call on Carissa.
Carissa Lee, parent educator in Mounds View. I don't really have much. Ellen.
Hey everybody, Ellen Hafner, parent educator in Northfield, and I'm en route to St. Peter to pick up my kid for spring break. So I'll hand it off to Sandy.
Hi everybody, I'm Sandy Soelter, parent educator, home visitor, early childhood screener, yada 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 in Fairmont, because like Greta said, we're small and I have to like try to fill in. So that's me.
There we go. Well, great. Well, Sandy, I'm going to turn it back to you. And as I understand it from our from the meeting last week, you shared some wonderful creative ways that you've been using artificial intelligence. And we would love to hear about them and now on recording. So the rest of our ECFE parenting educator population can see it. So over to you, Sandy.
Sounds good. All right, thanks. Yes, I was so excited last week when I could share some of what I'd learned with the group, because I had only learned it a week ago. So now it's been 2 weeks ago that I learned it in a special training. And I had already just used it in so many ways that really helped me as a parent educator. And I was just so in awe I had to share. So I'm going to share my screen so that it's a little bit easier to understand what I'm talking about. The first thing I'm going to share is, let's see here. I'm going to share the thing that I think has made the most difference for me, and it's called gamma.app. So I'm logged in here on my account. It's really easy to create it. It's free. And you can see I just used my Google school address here to create it. This creates slide presentations, which for me is for like every single one of my classes except for my infant class. I do slides. So this has been a game changer for me. And there's a couple different ways you can use it. So if you go to where my cursor is here and click create new, it's going to give you a couple options. You can either grab your own text and throw it in there and say, hey, create this presentation from this information. You can click this middle one that says generate, and you can tell AI what you want your presentation to be about, and it will create it for you. Or if you have already some existing, documents or things that you want to grab and throw in, you can do that as well. So I have mostly used this generate, and I say mostly, in the last 2 weeks. Um, I was gonna try to show you both. So I pulled up an old lesson plan of mine. So I'm gonna first like just copy this whole thing, and we're gonna just kind of play with it here, which is mostly what I've just done, is played it with it and had a great time learning how to use this to my advantage. So let me see here. I want to go back to the Gamma, and I'm going to do paste in text. So I'm just going to paste everything I just copied, and I want a presentation from it. As you can see, it does give you different options there, but for me, this has been mostly useful for creating slide presentations. So I'm going to click that and then continue. And it's telling me it's coming up with 8 different slide cards. It's kind of telling me right here, it basically has my whole lesson plan and how it's going to prepare the slides. So I'm going to see what it does here by clicking continue. And let's see here. And let's see if I think I'm yep. Okay, so I had to move where you guys were on my screen. So it says now I can generate, or I can pick a different theme. Maybe I like a different theme than the one that's pulled up. So I'm just going to grab this one because it's right there. I'm going to push generate, and then you can see what it spits out for me. And this is where I was just blown away when I did this for the first time. I was like, are you kidding me? This takes me hours. So, so as you can see, it just created that whole thing for me with pictures, text, all of the ideas I had from my lesson, it incorporated into this. I can go in here and I can just click. As you can see, I can highlight, I can change things, I can edit from here. I could even go back to the bottom and say, wait a second, I need to fix something. So I need to change something in my lesson plan. Whoops, I forgot that this is not really true. I'm going to take this out, and then click continue and generate again, and it will fix what you tell it to fix. So that's one way to do it, is by taking a lesson plan you already have and creating your slide presentation. Like I said, the other way you could do it is you can just click like that you want to, I don't know if you saw me there, generate. Like let's say I don't have anything. Maybe I'm panicked and I need a quick lesson and have been, too busy or need a new idea or something. So, let's see, you guys, what do we want to do a lesson about? How about a lesson on discipline?
Oh, I did this week, Sandy. While you type it in, I did it. I showed my
Yeah.
husband. I was like, check this out. And I did leaving your baby with a babysitter for the first time.
Oh,
And it was,
nice.
yeah, I was like, just see what it spits out. Um, but yeah, I was gonna say I did try it. I was like, oh, I learned about this cool new thing, except the pictures were bad. So I had a
Oh,
I had a baby with 6 fingers. Um, it showed like,
stop.
yeah, it showed like handing off a baby, and it showed 2 men that looked the same and a woman. And I was like, okay, this is weird. So the pictures are also AI generated, so you might want to delete those and find real ones. But anyway, I was gonna
Yes.
have my title so that you could see the creepy photos.
Oh, that's
I tried it this week
scary.
too. I have a virtual class coming up next Wednesday, and I don't have my lesson plan for it. I was doing play and the nature play kind of mixed together. So of course, lesson plans are all notes, but I just tried to generate one. And I didn't have any six-fingered babies, I don't think, but the pictures were they were like small children, like sitting together, but they looked like adults, like it was weird, and the color was really weird. So yeah, some of the pictures can be a And I didn't figure out how to change. I didn't have time. I didn't figure out how to change them, but but it was pretty good. I guess my one thing would be like, I think I needed to be way more specific. Like the stuff that was there was good, but I think my prompt, and I know you can, I'm sure you'll go through this. I know you can go in and edit it and add stuff in. And like I said, I just didn't really have that much time to play with it, but it'd be interesting to see what it comes up with this.
Yeah, so this is what it spit out for my prompt was, and I wasn't super specific except for I said, for discipline for 1 to 2 year old children, research based from child development experts. And that's as specific as I was. And that is something you really have to play around with. I think I said last week that one of the first times I used this, I said, create a presentation about what was it? Oh, it was about like I think it was about chores or something like that. And it kind of came out with stuff about classroom like jobs and chores. And I'm like, oh wait, I guess I need to say chores for children that their parents can help them with, or what I had to be more specific that I was working with parents and the chores were for children, not a classroom and stuff like that. So sometimes you do just need to go in and play with it, be a little more specific. So this is what it spit out for the prompt that I just gave it. And like we talked about last week, you do really need to go through each slide. You need to read it. You need to edit it. You need to make sure that it is accurate and says what you want it to say.
Like that
But
picture they're your first picture there.
yes, exactly. Yes, that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, you would definitely want to fix some of this stuff. I'm not going to take any time to really like look through it and fix anything, but I have had to do that with what I've used, because it's not going to come out perfect, but it's sure going to give you a good starting point. And for as much time as I typically spend creating slides, to have a starting point saves a lot of time. So that's the thing. One of the things that I learned at this training that I had never learned before. And I was like, I have to share this with my other parent educator friends because this is amazing. And last week, I have to tell you, you guys. So last week I said it could not be turned into Google Slides, but since last week, guess what? They must have heard us talking. And if you say share, I don't know if you caught that I did that. I did share and then export. Look at new export to Google Slides. They heard us talking and we were like, oh, they have PowerPoint, but not Google Slides. What are we going to do? And they heard us. So if you click this, I did this last night for my sub that was coming in today because Google Slides are more well known for people. So I wanted it to be easier for her to navigate. So let's see. I did have to fix the font and stuff. It wasn't a perfect transition from one to the next. Like the font was like smaller in the Gamma, or I'm sorry, in the Google Slides, it was smaller than what I'd done in the Gamma. But yeah, you're gonna have to fix some stuff. But gosh, like I just was like, yay, they made that for us. I felt like because we'd just been talking about that. So anyway, there's lots of fun things, lots of playing around you can do with it. I don't know everything about it, but I wanted to like make you guys aware of it. Before I go into the chat GPT, did you guys have any questions that I might be able to try to help you with this Gamma app?
Is it free?
Yeah, Susan. Yep, it's free.
Okay. And did you need your educator? I know some of these different apps are created and you need an educator login to create.
No.
You're using like a Gmail account or something like that? Perfect.
Yep.
Great.
Yep. Yes,
So
it's awesome.
So one of my questions is when we start thinking about AI in that, and I know that like ChatGTP, they will start, you create the account. And what's helpful about that is that then it can kind of know your way of doing things. And I know people who have built, they've put all their stuff out there, say they're an entrepreneur with a new business. They put all their stuff out there so that ChatGTP knows how to intuitively do the next project based upon all the stuff that they have. And I was thinking in my mind, if I was going to do this, it would be really nice to have it be a program that has my stuff, not just one lesson plan, and can kind of utilize that and I guess have more data that I feel is appropriate so that it's pulling from my stuff, not just grabbing a bunch of stuff and creating it more so. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
that would be
Well,
I don't know. Is that even out there?
also, yeah, you can throw in there anything that you wanted to take. I not too long ago, I had to do a peer observation related to our QComp. And so I just opened Chat GPT. If this is my account in Chat GPT. So like I said last week, if you're going to do stuff, make sure you log into your account and do it there, because as you'll see over here on the left, it has everything I've searched in the last, whatever, 30 days or 2024. It will keep everything. You don't want to lose something that you might want to go back to at some point. So make sure you're logged in when you're using it so you have it saved. The other thing is I took our rubric for like I was peer observing based on like student-led learning environment. So I took our rubric for that. I copied and pasted that into ChatGPT, and I said, based on this rubric, how did this teacher do? Show me the evidence of the students and the teachers. And I had copied and pasted all my notes that I'd taken from that observation, and it spit out this great thing that, again, I did edit, but it was a great thing that was way more thorough for the teacher to read after I observed them than what I would have come up with. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing what kind of information you can put into it and say, based on this, give me this, So when you said that, Greta, one of the thoughts that popped into my head is it would be nice to go to our parent education core curriculum framework and say, based on this, blah, blah, blah. Just giving it more and more information is better. It's that's what the trainer did tell us too. The more information you can give it, the better. So the better you get at using it, the more you'll understand that too, like what you have to say or what you have to type in. I'm talking like I'm talking to it, but when I'm typing in, you get better at that. So I think the thing I mentioned last week that was just floored me and helped me with Chat GPT is I'm doing this extra work with kindergarten through second grade families for achievement and integration. And coming up, we're having a showing of the movie Screenagers and then having parent discussion with it. And I'm in charge of doing the handouts. And we decided as a main group what the handouts were going to be. And one of them was on tips for parents on how to put on screen restrictions. So I, in my head, was thinking I have to do this all by myself. But then I was like, oh, I'm going to use Chat GPT for help. And I think I told you guys this last week, but I didn't show you. I said something to the effect of explain, whoops. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have new nails, so sorry, my typing is horrible. Explain how to set parental controls for an iPad/iPhone. And I did the same thing for I put an Android tablet or phone. And so there we go, bam, my first handout, how to set up parental controls for your child. Like, here we go. Like one side is going to be the iPhone, one's going to be the Android. And it was just, I was like, oh, this is just amazing. Like it has all this knowledge that I don't personally have that I want to share with parents. And I mean, I want to have as a parent. I mean, some of it I do know from having kids with phones and stuff like that, but to be able to actually describe it to another parent was going to be a challenge for me. So to be able to list this all out, this is just one thing I used in the last 2 weeks that really helped me. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. So you guys have any other questions for me in general? Like I said, I'm not the expert, but just really wanted to share how much of a help it's been to me and something to play around with if you think it might be helpful for you too.
Does ChatGTP put together slides yet or not?
No, not. I'm pretty sure it does not. In the training I was at, that's why he showed us the gamma.app. For other educators as well, there's like a magic school, which does stuff that's more geared to K through 12th grade classrooms. And that's a whole separate AI website that does amazing things too. So Magic School is another one that I've heard teachers say good things about, but Chat GPT does not do slides, but you could copy and paste this all into Gamma app.
I was just
You know,
going
you
to
could
say,
just
ask GTP to put it together if if it has all your information, and then and then you
Well, then
can.
Sandy, do you want to show them too how you did find the proper sources? Like you went and
oh
show how to do that
yes.
because sometimes you're like, okay, where did you get this information?
Yep.
So you want to see that
Yes,
it's pulling. Because I think it would be great
right.
if you could even specify, I want to create a slideshow that pulls all, its information from, 0 to 3.org or something like that.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you could do that. But yeah, show them how that worked because that's important.
It is tricky
Yes.
because when I was doing my master's, I was looking for some guidance on a project, and I asked for research-based materials on such and this and that with I wanted it with the resources. When I went to find the resources, 3 of the 4 were made up. So you really want to make sure, like it will create something for you that is research, but it's not. So you have to really be careful your prompts, what you're putting in to give you things. Or if maybe they were real, but I didn't have access to them. They were somewhere beyond my accessibility for the class, right, for my libraries that I had access to. I couldn't find them. I went out and looked. So be watchful and careful. Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah, we did talk about that last week. Absolutely. I'm glad that you brought that up again, Ellen and Greta, because that is super important. So I'm just retyping in this prompt because I didn't do it when we were talking about it. So I'm going to just use the same prompt I used before.
While you're typing.
And then, oh, sorry, Greta. I don't mean to keep interrupting you.
I was going to say, while you're typing, I want to say it looks so good. It's like I have 35, 50, 75. I don't even know how many PowerPoint slides I have or Google slides I have now, but they kind of are, they look redundant after a while. I don't know about you guys, but it's like they kind of start looking the same because I do things a certain way. And when you pulled this up, they format the differences in formats are so nice. The graphics changes, it's really nice to see something fresh and different. And yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So let's see. Last week, what I think I did as we were talking is then I just added in here. I think I added in resources. Where this information was found. Let's see if that's what I did. So it's just going to generate basically the whole thing again, except for the last slide should have the resources on it. And this was all kind of like experimentation last week too. We were all talking about it, and I just decided to type in, provide me the resources, and it came up with all the resources. And thankfully, when we were discussing what we were discussing, I don't think it was discipline, but it had great stuff like 0 to 3 and all that. But like here it says, you can see there's a comprehensive list of resources consulted during the preparation of this presentation, and it's American Academy of Pediatrics. So that's where they're getting their information from. If you go back to Chat GPT, I'm just going to ask it a different question. Let's see, give me strategies. We're putting a 2-year-old to sleep based on research. I'm going to be very vague, which we know is not ideal, but because we're running out of time, I'm going to be very vague. So it's giving you this information that it spit out, and then after it does that, let's see. I thought that there was somewhere I could add to this, but I'm just going to ask it now. I'm going to give me the resources for the above information. So then it just spit out the resources of each of the points that it made. It's telling me, let's see, National Sleep Foundation, looks like some journal article here, American Academy of Pediatrics. So you can see that you would be able to see, okay, is all this accurate, or does it look reliable? Obviously we're looking to make sure it looks reliable.
I might even click on one of those DOIs, just to double check where it brings me.
Yeah, for sure.
Double check those, double check the, what is it called? The address, not the first part, but the home address. See if it does go out to the Academy of Pediatrics, their website, that sort of a thing.
Yep. Here, I'm just going to click on this one right now if I can. Why isn't it letting me? I'm surprised it's not letting me, but that's something that you could, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you definitely want to look into it.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
But
I love creativity and bringing it together, and what you can present something, and it hasn't had to take you how long, right? Every slide. I mean, when I think about the time spent building slide decks, hello, it's a lot of time, and that's very helpful. That's a great resource. Sorry.
No, this is Sandy, thank you so much. This is really, and also to have the practical, let's try this, and that Gamma app, that's a new one for me. Bye, Ellen. Also that's great, especially for creating slide sets and stuff, so yeah, I've been using AI more and more. There was just a piece of research that came out about testing AI responses in marriage and family therapy. And they had couples that were, I guess the study was they took a group of couples, and then they asked what their questions were that they would bring to a therapist. they brought those questions to therapists and to I think ChatGPT. They generated responses and then had the couples read them and rate them based on helpfulness and AI1
Mm.
for empathy and for cultural appropriateness. And now, of course, this is one study, and and it's not counting in any of the kind of the emotional stuff that people get from being with a human being and all of that. But I think it does finding out that empathy and cultural appropriateness were things that AI did better on than a human being also made me a little scared of how the therapists had been trained. But anyway, so, it's just something I think that we keep our eyes open to and our critical thinking open to, and not dismiss it as being artificial and therefore it can't be any good when it is incredibly efficient. I noted that, I needed a quick diagram of factors that influence teenage mental health when I was doing my talk in Hong Kong, and then of course you look at it and you go, does this seem right? Right? Does this seem or just like when looking at the pictures, like, does this seem right? Is this, oh, these families are a little bit too white that they chose. So, and, or I want to put in pictures of our own families, right? So that's the thing is it's efficient and then you build on it, right? So Sandy, thank you so much for walking us through this and sharing the resource that you had gained. And now it's on recording and we can share it with other people. So, and
Yeah,
Sandy,
no problem.
before we go, could you just type in how you access Gamma? Is that like just gamma.app or whatever, just so that I can put that also in the the links to share.
Yes, I will just grab that really quick.
And you can see some of the things that I added from Common Sense Media. They're great for, for educators and stuff like that, and have some really helpful guidelines. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. This has been an incredibly great Friday afternoon session. It felt good to laugh a little bit and focus on my favorite people rather than dealing with bigger things like the loss of USAID. But we won't go there. We'll stay in our happy places for now. So anyway, all right. Well, have a fabulous weekend, everyone. And
Yeah, you too, everybody.
Yeah, you too.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.